Close your eyes, if you wish, and let your breath slow. Imagine yourself in a quiet place, far from the hum of the modern world, where the air carries the faint scent of smoke and earth. Tonight, we journey to the heart of the Valley of Mexico, to the great city of Tenochtitlán, where stone temples rise like mountains against the sky, and the rhythm of drums echoes like a pulse. This is not a story of adventure or conquest, but a gentle descent into a world both beautiful and terrifying, a world where the sun itself hungers and human hearts were offered to keep it alive. This is the beating heart of the sun, Aztec human sacrifice and more. A 2-hour exploration crafted to guide you into restful contemplation or perhaps the edge of sleep. We'll walk through the realms of Aztec life, first as a chosen sacrifice facing your final day, then as a priest wielding the sacred obsidian blade, next unraveling the mysteries of the cosmos and the calendar stone, and finally resting in the serene gardens of the feathered elite. The tale is rich, measured, and steeped in the textures of a civilization that balanced beauty with sacrifice. Let the rhythm of their lives carry you as the distant hum of a conch shell calls across time. Now, imagine yourself standing on the edge of a great city, its canals shimmering under the dawn. You are not yourself, not yet. You are someone else, someone chosen. Let's begin. The air is thick with the scent of burning copal, a resin that curls upward in pale wisps, blending with the faint metallic tang of blood and the warm, grounding aroma of roasted maize. You stand in a courtyard of polished stone, your wrists bound loosely with cords of maguey fiber, soft yet unyielding. The cords are not meant to restrain you, not really. You are no prisoner in the common sense. You are Xiptla, a sacred embodiment, a vessel for the divine. They call you the precious captive, and the weight of that title presses against your chest as surely as the garland of flowers draped around your neck. The petals marigolds, bright as the sun brush your skin, their faint sweetness mingling with the heaviest smells of the temple precinct. You've known this day was coming since the moment you were taken alive on the battlefield, or perhaps chosen from among your village's finest. The gods have marked you, and today they will claim you. It is dawn in Tenochtitlán, the year 1487, though you do not count time as we do now. The city hums around you, a sprawling mosaic of canals, causeways, and flat-roofed houses, their whitewashed walls glowing faintly in the early light. Beyond the courtyard, the great Templo Mayor looms, a stepped pyramid that pierces the sky, its twin shrines dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, and Tlaloc, the rain god, painted in vibrant reds and blues. The steps are steep, worn smooth by countless feet and stained with the memory of offerings past. You can hear the city waking, the soft slap of water against the chine-impers, the floating gardens where maize and beans grow in neat rows, the low voices of merchants calling out in the marketplace, the rhythmic thump of a woman grinding maize on a matate stone. But louder still is the sound that has haunted your dreams for weeks, the deep, resonant pulse of the Huitl drum, its beat steady as a heart, calling you to the pyramid's summit. Your day began before the sun rose, when the stars still hung sharp in the sky. Attendants, their faces painted with black and red stripes, woke you gently from your pallet of woven reeds. They spoke in low, reverent tones, addressing you not by your name but as Teotl, God. You are no longer merely human, you are a living bridge to the divine, a vessel through which the sun will be fed. They bathed you in water scented with herbs, cool against your skin, and dressed you in ceremonial garb. Your tunic is soft cotton, dyed crimson and embroidered with turquoise threads that catch the light. Feathers quetzal, heron, macaw adorn your headdress, their weight surprisingly light, swaying as you move. A jade pendant, cold and smooth, rests against your chest, its green surface carved with the face of a serpent. You are beautiful, they tell you, and the gods will be pleased. The attendants lead you to a low table where a meal awaits, a final offering to sustain you for the journey ahead. The food is simple but abundant. Tamales wrapped in corn husks, their steaming dough filled with beans and chilies, a bowl of atoll, a warm maize porridge sweetened with honey, and cacao frothed and bitter served in a painted gourd. You eat slowly, the flavors grounding you in this moment, though your stomach churns with something deeper, perhaps fear, perhaps acceptance. The attendants watch you, their eyes kind but distant, as if they see not you but the god you will become. They sing softly, a chant in Nahuatl, the language of the Mexica, its syllables rolling like water over stones. The words speak of the sun's journey, of its need for strength, of the honor you carry. You try to focus on the warmth of the atoll, the texture of the tamale, but the drum's pulse grows louder, pulling your thoughts to the pyramid. As the meal ends, they offer you a small clay cup filled with a cloudy liquid pulque, fermented from the maguey plant, laced with herbs to calm your mind. You drink, and a warmth spreads through you, softening the edges of the world. Your limbs feel heavy, your thoughts drift like smoke. The attendants guide you to your feet, and the procession begins. The courtyard is now filled with others priests in black cloaks, their hair matted with dried blood, warriors in jaguar skins, their faces painted with ochre, and onlookers, men and women of the city, their eyes fixed on you with a mix of awe and pity. A conch shell sounds, its wail cutting through the morning air, and the drums intensify, their rhythm urging you forward. The path to the Templo Mayor is lined with flowers, their petals scattered on the ground, a bright trail leading to the pyramid's base. You walk slowly, the pulque dulling your fear but not your awareness. The stones beneath your feet are cool, worn smooth by generations of processions like this one. You pass a canal, its water reflecting the rising sun, and catch the scent of water lilies mingling with the ever-present copal. Children peer from behind their mothers, their faces curious but silent. An old man, his hair white as cotton, bows his head as you pass, murmuring a prayer. You want to speak, to ask him what he prays for, but your tongue feels heavy and the moment passes. The pyramid's steps rise before you, each one a challenge, each one a reminder of what awaits. You climb, your breath steady despite the weight in your chest. The attendants flank you, their hands hovering but not touching, as if you are too sacred to be held. The city falls away below, its canals and rooftops spreading out like a living map. You can see the distant mountains, their peaks shrouded in mist, and the lake of Texcoco, its surface shimmering like polished obsidian. The air grows thinner as you ascend, the scent of blood stronger now, mixing with the smoke of incense. You reach a platform halfway up where a priest waits, his face obscured by a mask of turquoise and shell. He anoints your forehead with a paste of maize and ash, his fingers steady but cold. He speaks words you cannot fully grasp, something about the sun, about the debt all life owes. You nod because it is expected, because you have no choice. The final steps are the hardest. Your legs tremble, not from exhaustion, but from the weight of what is coming. The summit is a flat expanse of stone, dominated by the twin shrines. Huitzilopochtli's shrine is painted red, the color of blood and dawn. Tlaloc's is blue, like rain and sky. The altar stands at the center, a slab of dark basalt, its surface smooth but stained, etched with faint carvings of serpents and skulls. The drums are deafening now, their rhythm merging with your heartbeat. You can feel the eyes of the city below, though you cannot see them. The priest steps forward, his obsidian blade gleaming in the sunlight. It is not a weapon, but a tool, its edge sharper than any metal, capable of slicing through flesh with a single stroke. He raises it, and you close your eyes. But let us pause here for a moment and step back from the summit. Imagine yourself not on the altar, but in the life that led to this moment. Before you were chosen, you were someone else, a warrior, perhaps, or a youth from a neighboring village, captured in one of the flowery wars designed to provide captives for the gods. Your days were filled with the rhythm of ordinary life, the weight of a digging stick as you worked the fields, the laughter of your siblings as you played by the canal, the warmth of your mother's tortilla as she pressed it into your hand. You knew of the sacrifices, of course everyone did. The temples were always there, their steps stained, their drums calling. But it was distant, a fact of life, like drought or rain, until the day the warriors came. Your capture was not brutal, not in the way we might imagine. The Mexica valued their captives, treated them with a strange reverence. You were fed, clothed, taught the dances and songs that would prepare you for this day. For weeks, perhaps months, you lived in a liminal state, neither prisoner nor free, honored yet doomed. You slept on a soft mat, ate meals richer than those of your childhood, and wore garments finer than any you had known. But every night, the drums reminded you of the pyramid, of the blade, of the gods who hungered. You wondered in those quiet moments if the sun truly needed you, if the world would end without your heart. But those questions faded under the weight of ritual, of expectation, of the pull that dulled your fear. Now, back on the pyramid, the moment is near. The priest's voice is steady, his words a chant that blends with the drums. You lie on the altar, the stone cold against your back, the sun warm on your face. The city is silent below, or perhaps you can no longer hear it. The blade hovers, its edge catching the light, and you feel a strange peace, a surrender to the rhythm of their lives. The gods are watching, the sun is rising, and you are part of something vast, something eternal. The drum beats once more, and then, let us leave the summit now, gently, as if stepping back from a dream. The story of the precious captive is but one thread in the tapestry of Aztec life, a thread woven with awe and terror, beauty and sacrifice. In the next segment, we will walk a different path, into the mind and heart of the priest who wields the obsidian blade, a man caught between duty and doubt, between the stars and the blood that feeds them. For now, rest in this moment, in the echo of the drums, in the scent of copal fading into the air. Imagine yourself now not on the altar, but standing in the shadow of the Templo Mayor. Your feet bare against the cool stone of a temple courtyard, the air heavy with the scent of copal, and the faint metallic tang of blood that never fully fades. You are not the sacrifice, but the one who wields the blade, a high priest of Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, your life bound to the rhythm of the cosmos, to the cycles of time, that demand blood to keep the world turning. Your name is lost to history, but let us call you Tlacaelel, a name that echoes the strength and burden you carry. Your hands are steady, your heart disciplined, yet beneath the calm surface of your duty lies a current of doubt, a whisper that grows louder with each dawn. Your world is one of sacred precision, of stars and calendars, of rituals that hold the sun aloft. But it is also a world of weight, of lives taken to appease the gods. Let us walk with you through the years that shaped you, from the shadowed halls of the Colmacac to the blood-slicked summit of the pyramid, and into the moment when you begin to question the very gods you serve. Your journey began when you were a boy no more than 7, taken from your family's adobe home, in the heart of Tenochtitlán, to enter the Colmacac, the priestly school where the sons of nobles and the gifted were trained to serve the gods. The air in the Colmacac was cool, even in the heat of midday, the stone walls thick and unyielding, their surfaces carved with serpents and skulls that seemed to watch you as you walked. Your teachers were priests, their faces painted black, their hair matted with dried blood, their voices low and deliberate as they taught you the sacred arts. You learned to read the codices, their pages of a maple paper filled with glyphs that told the stories of the gods and the stars. You memorized the Tonolpohualli, the 260-day ritual calendar, its cycles of 20 signs and 13 numbers weaving a map of time that guided every sacrifice, every festival. You learned the names of the gods Huitzilopochtli, born of the earth goddess Coatlicue, who demanded the hearts of men to fight the darkness, Tlaloc, the rainbringer, whose tears nourished the fields but whose wrath could drown the world. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who gave knowledge but fled in shame. The gods were not distant to you, they were as real as the stone beneath your feet, as the maize in your bowl, as the blood that would one day stain your hands. Your days in the Colmacac were a rhythm of discipline and pain, a forging of body and mind to serve the divine. You rose before dawn, when the stars were still bright, to sweep the temple courtyards, the broom's bristles rasping against the stone, a task meant to teach humility. You fasted for days, your stomach hollow, your thoughts sharpening as hunger brought you closer to the gods. You pierced your ears, your tongue, your thighs with maguey spines, offering your own blood to the earth, the pain a bridge to the divine. The first time you drew blood, you were afraid, the spine trembling in your small hands. But your teacher stood over you, his eyes unyielding, and you pushed the spine through your skin, feeling the warmth trickle down your leg, the world swimming as you chanted the prayers. The pain became familiar, a companion, a reminder that your life was not your own. You slept on a thin mat, the stone floor cold beneath you, and dreamed of the sun, its heat a promise and a threat. You learned to play the huatl drum, its deep pulse echoing the heartbeat of the earth, and to blow the conch shell, its wailer call to the gods. You studied the stars, learning to read their movements to know when Venus rose as the morning star, a sign of war, or when the Pleiades aligned with the temple, marking the time for sacrifice. By the time you were 15, you were no longer a boy but a priest in training. Your body lean from fasting, your mind sharp from study. You were chosen to serve Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, the most demanding of all, whose shrine atop the Templo Mayor was the heart of the city. Your initiation was a solitary vigil, a night spent alone in a chamber deep within the temple, its walls painted with scenes of the sun's birth, its air thick with the scent of copal. You sat cross-legged, a single candle flickering before you, its light casting shadows that danced like spirits. You fasted, drank only water, and chanted until your voice grew hoarse, the words blending into a hum that filled your skull. You saw visions, or perhaps they were dreams, of a red sun pulsing like a heart, of a serpent coiling around the world, of a sky that darkened and refused to brighten. When the dawn came, you emerged trembling, your body weak but your spirit alight, marked as one who would wield the obsidian blade. Your first sacrifice came a year later, during the festival of Panquetzalistli, when the city gathered to honor Huitzilopochtli's birth. You stood on the pyramid summit, the altar before you, the city sprawling below like a living codex, its canals glinting in the sunlight. The captive was young, like you, his eyes clouded with pulque, his body adorned with feathers and jade. You held the blade, its obsidian edge cold and impossibly sharp, its handle wrapped in leather stained dark with use. The drums thundered, their rhythm drowning out the sounds of the crowd, the wail of the conch shell rising like a cry. You had been trained for this moment, taught to move with precision, to find the space between the ribs where the heart beat strongest. You raised the blade, your hands steady despite the tremor in your chest, and spoke the words that called the sun to rise. The captive's eyes met yours, not with fear but with a strange calm, as if he too understood the rhythm of their lives. The blade descended, swift and sure, and the heart was lifted, still pulsing, to the sky. The crowd below roared, not in triumph but in reverence, their voices a wave that carried the offering to the gods. You felt no joy, no horror, only the weight of duty, the certainty that the sun would rise again. The years that followed were a cycle of rituals, each one blending into the next, a rhythm as constant as the stars. You rose before dawn to observe the heavens, noting the position of Venus, the alignment of the Pleiades, the faint glow of the Milky Way, which the Mexica called the White Road. You consulted the Tonalpohualli, its glyphs guiding the timing of each sacrifice, each festival. You led processions through the city, your black cloak heavy with embroidery, your face painted with the stripes of your rank. You stood on the pyramid again and again, the blade in your hand, the heart offered to the sun, the body sent tumbling down the steps to the priests below, who would prepare it for the gods. You learned to move with detachment, to see the captives not as men but as vessels, their blood a currency that paid the debt of the world's survival. Yet each sacrifice left a mark, a weight that settled in your bones, a question that lingered in the quiet hours before dawn. The doubt began during an eclipse, a rare and terrifying event when the sun darkened, as if the gods themselves were hungry beyond appeasement. You stood on the pyramid, the city silent below, the air thick with fear. The codices had warned of this, a sign of divine anger, a moment when the world could end. You led the rituals, chanting with the other priests, offering blood from your own veins to coax the sun back to life. The captives were brought in haste, their hearts offered one after another, the altar slick with blood, the drums pounding until your head ached. The sun returned as it always did, but the doubt remained. Why did the gods demand so much? Why did the sun falter, even when the hearts were given? You began to notice the faces of the captives, their eyes no longer clouded but sharp with fear, with questions that mirrored your own. You saw the mothers in the crowd, their hands clutching their children, their prayers not for the sun but for mercy. You began to wonder if the rhythm of their lives was a cycle of necessity or a chain of fear. The crisis came during the festival of Tlaquaxabualizti, when the city honored Totec, the flayed god, whose priests wore the skins of the sacrificed to symbolize renewal. You were tasked with leading a mass sacrifice, a rare event meant to restore balance after a year of drought. The captives numbered in the dozens, warriors from distant lands, their bodies painted with chalk and feathers, their eyes wide with the knowledge of their fate. You stood on the pyramid, the blade in your hand, the sun high and unrelenting. The first heart was offered, then the second, then the third, each one lifted to the sky, each one heavier than the last. The crowd was silent, the drums a relentless pulse, the air thick with the scent of blood and flowers. You moved through the motions, your hand steady, your voice chanting the sacred words. But your mind was elsewhere, caught in the question that had haunted you since the eclipse. Was this enough? Would it ever be enough? The final captive was young, his face unmarred by battle, his eyes fixed on you with a quiet plea. You raised the blade, but for the first time your hand trembled. You completed the ritual, the heart offered, the body sent down the steps, but as you descended the pyramid, you felt the weight of the god's hunger and your own. Your life continued, but the doubt grew, a shadow that followed you through the rituals, the vigils, the nights spent studying the stars. You began to seek answers in the codices, in the stories of the 5 suns, the eras when the world had ended and been reborn. You wondered if this sun, the 5th, was truly so fragile, if the blood of men was the only thing keeping it aloft. You spoke to other priests, cautiously, their faces unreadable beneath their paint, their answers steeped in tradition. You watched the city, its people moving through the rhythm of their lives, farmers tending the chinampas, merchants bartering in the marketplace, children playing by the canals, and wondered if they too questioned the gods or if they accepted the blood as the price of the sun's rise. You stood on the pyramid, night after night, the stars above you a map of questions, the blade in your hand a weight you could no longer ignore. Let us step back now, gently, from the summit of the pyramid, from the priest's trembling hand, and rest in the quiet of his doubt. His world, like yours, was one of beauty and terror, of precision and sacrifice, of a rhythm that held the cosmos together yet threatened to unravel. In the next segment, we will turn our gaze to the stone at the heart of this world, the calendar stone, a carved monument that holds the secrets of the 5 suns, the myths of creation and destruction, and the mysteries that archaeologists still ponder. For now, let the scent of copal linger, let the pulse of the drums fade, and rest in the stillness of the night. Imagine yourself standing in the heart of Tenochtitlán, the air warm and heavy, with the scent of copal incense, its pale smoke curling upward like a prayer blending with the faint sweetness of marigolds and the earthy aroma of damp stone. You are no longer the sacrifice nor the priest, but a quiet observer, your feet planted on the smooth basalt of the temple precinct, your eyes drawn to a massive circular stone, its surface carved with intricate glyphs that seem to pulse with meaning. This is the calendar stone, or sunstone, a monument that weighs as much as a house, its diameter wider than a man's outstretched arms, its carvings a map of time, creation, and destruction. The stone is not merely art, it is a testament to the Aztec cosmos, a record of their belief that the world had ended for times before and might end again, unless the gods were fed with the blood of men. In this segment, we will unravel the mysteries of this stone, explore the myth of the 5 suns, and delve into the archaeological puzzles that still whisper of the Aztecs. A world where beauty and terror were intertwined, where sacrifice was both a debt and a prayer, where the stars themselves demanded devotion. Let us begin, slowly, with the stone itself, its surface a silent witness to the rhythm of their lives. The calendar stone looms before you, its surface a dizzying array of concentric rings, each one etched with symbols that tell a story older than the city itself. At its center is the face of Tenochtitlan, the sun god, his tongue a flint knife, his eyes staring outward with an unyielding gaze, as if demanding your attention. Around him, the glyphs of the 20-day signs of the Tenochtitlán, the 260-day ritual calendar. Spiral outward crocodile, wind, house, lizard, serpent, each one a marker of time's sacred cycle. Beyond these are the symbols of the 4 suns, the previous worlds that ended in cataclysm, jaguar, wind, rain, water. The outermost ring is a serpent, its body coiled, its scales glinting in the sunlight. a reminder of Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who shaped the world and fled it. The stone is not just a calendar, but a cosmology, a declaration that the fifth sun, the one under which you stand, is fragile, sustained only by the offerings of human hearts. As you trace the carvings with your eyes, you can almost hear the priests chanting, their voices low and rhythmic, their words weaving the story of creation and destruction, a story that begins in darkness. The myth of the five suns is the heart of Aztec belief, a tale that explains why the world demands blood. Long ago, before the first sun rose, the gods gathered at Teotihuacan, the ancient city north of Tenochtitlán, its pyramids still standing as silent sentinels. They sought to create a world, but each attempt failed. Each sun extinguished in a catastrophe that reshaped the earth. The first sun, Nahui-Ocelotl, was the era of jaguars when giants walked the earth, their footsteps shaking the ground until the jaguars devoured them and the sun fell. The second sun, Nahui-Ehecotl, was ruled by wind. Its people scattered like leaves when Quetzalcoatl unleashed a hurricane that tore the world apart. The third sun, Nahui-Quiahutl, was a world of rain. Its people burned by a deluge of fire from the heavens, their ashes mixing with the earth. The fourth sun, Nahui-Atl, was consumed by water. Its people transformed into fish as floods drowned the land. Each sun ended because the gods grew angry, or tired, or hungry, their power waning without the sustenance of human devotion. The fifth sun, Nahui-Olan, the sun of movement, is the one you stand beneath. Its light warm on your skin, its existence tied to the rhythm of sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that this sun, too, would end perhaps in earthquake, perhaps in darkness unless the gods were fed, their hunger sated with the hearts of men. As you stand before the calendar stone, you can feel the weight of this belief, the urgency that drove the Aztecs to offer blood to the sky. But why was sacrifice so central? Scholars have long debated this question, their voices echoing across centuries, their theories as varied as the glyphs on the stone. Some argue that sacrifice was a response to the environment, a way to appease the gods during cycles of drought that threatened the maize fields and chinampas. The Valley of Mexico was a land of extremes, its lakes and rivers prone to drying, its rains unpredictable. A failed harvest meant hunger, and hunger meant rebellion, a threat to the city's order. By offering hearts to Tlaloc, the rain god, the Aztecs sought to ensure the rains would come. The fields would grow, the people would eat. Others see sacrifice as a political tool, a way to assert dominance over neighboring tribes. The flowery wars were not battles for land but rituals to capture warriors, their lives offered to the gods as proof of Tenochtitlán's power. Yet others believe the answer lies deeper in a mythic urgency rooted in the five suns, a fear that the world itself hung by a thread, its survival dependent on the blood that fed the sun. The calendar stone, with its carved warnings of past destructions, seems to support this view. Its glyphs a reminder that the gods are not merciful but hungry, their appetite eternal. The stone itself is a mystery, its purpose debated by those who study the Aztecs' world. Was it an altar, a calendar, a propaganda piece for the priests and rulers? Its size, nearly 12 feet across, suggests it was meant to impress, to stand as a symbol of the city's devotion. Yet it was found buried, hidden beneath the earth when the Spanish arrived in 1519. As if the Aztecs sought to protect it from invaders, archaeologists uncovered it in 1790 beneath what is now Mexico City's Zocalo, the main plaza built over the ruins of Tenochtitlan. Its rediscovery was a moment of awe, a glimpse into a world long silenced. The stone's carvings are precise, their lines sharp despite centuries underground, their details revealing a culture obsessed with time and order. The Tonalpohualli calendar, with its 260 days, was not just a way to mark time, but a sacred cycle. Each day governed by a god, each moment a chance to honor or offend. The stone's outer rings align with the solstices, its glyphs matching the movements of the stars, suggesting the Aztecs were not just priests but astronomers. Their sacrifices timed to the heavens' rhythm. The Templo Mayor itself, where the calendar stone once stood, is another puzzle. Its layers are testament to the Aztecs' devotion. The temple was rebuilt 7 times, each new layer larger, grander, its stones painted red and blue, its steps stained with the offerings of countless hearts. Archaeologists digging beneath modern Mexico City found the temple's heart in the 1970s. Their shovels uncovering altars, statues, and burial pits filled with the bones of captives, their ribs cut to extract their hearts. One pit held the remains of children, their small skeletons arranged with care, their skulls adorned with shells, an offering to Tlaloc, whose reigns were as vital as the sun's light. The pits are silent now, their contents displayed in museums, but they speak of a culture that saw death as part of life, a necessary exchange to keep the world turning. The temple S alignment with the stars, its axis pointing to the sunrise on the equinox, shows the Aztecs' precision, their belief that the cosmos and the earth were one, their fates intertwined. The mystery deepens when you consider the art of the Aztecs. Its beauty is stark contrast to the terror of sacrifice. The calendar stone is not alone. Other carvings, like the statue of Coatlicue, the earth goddess, are equally intricate, their details a blend of awe and horror. Coatlicue's statue, found near the Temple Mayor, is a towering figure, her skirt made of serpents, her necklace a string of hearts and hands, her face replaced by snake heads locked in a gaze. Yet her form is graceful, her lines precise, her presence commanding reverence rather than fear. The Aztecs saw no contradiction in this duality. Beauty and terror were two sides of the same truth, a reflection of a world where life depended on death. Their codices, painted on a metal paper, show the same balance, vibrant images of gods and kings, their colors bright against the page, their stories told with a calm acceptance of sacrifice. The codices, like the stone, are a map of the Aztec mind, a record of a people who saw the universe as a delicate balance, its equilibrium maintained by blood. The archaeological record adds layers to this mystery, revealing a city that was both practical and sacred. The Temple Mayor was not just a place of sacrifice, but a center of learning, where priests studied the stars, recorded the harvests, planned the festivals. The Chinampas, the floating gardens that fed the city, were miracles of engineering, their canals dug with precision, their crops sustained by the same rains the priests sought to summon. Yet the burial pits, with their rows of skulls and carefully arranged bones, remind us of the cost. Scholars puzzle over the number. Some estimate tens of thousands were sacrificed each year. Others argue the figures are exaggerated, a product of Spanish chroniclers eager to paint the Aztecs as savages. The truth lies somewhere in between, a balance as delicate as the one the Aztecs sought to maintain. The pits, the altars, the stone itself are silent, but they speak of a people who lived with the constant awareness of their own fragility. Their world a thread stretched taut between creation and destruction. As you stand before the calendar stone, its glyphs glowing in the fading light, you can feel the weight of these mysteries, the questions that linger like the scent of copal. Why did the Aztecs build a world so dependent on blood? Was it fear, faith, or necessity that drove them? The stone offers no answers, only stories of suns that fell, of gods that hungered, of a people who believed they could hold the cosmos together with their offerings. The rhythm of their lives was one of precision and sacrifice, of beauty carved into stone and terror painted in blood. Let us step away now gently from the stone's unyielding gaze, and turn our eyes to the gardens of the elite, where the nobility of Tenochtitlán lived in a world of flowers and poetry. There lives a delicate balance between elegance and the shadow of the pyramid. Rest in this moment, in the quiet hum of the city, as we prepare to walk among the feathered elite. Imagine yourself stepping away from the heavy air of the temple precinct, the scent of copal, and blood fading as you cross a causeway over a shimmering canal, the water reflecting the soft pinks and golds of a Tenochtitlán sunset. You are no longer the sacrifice, nor the priest, nor the observer before the calendar stone, but a guest in the serene world of the Aztec nobility, where the rhythm of their lives is one of elegance, poetry, and quiet authority, yet always shadowed by the distant pulse of the temple drums. Your feet tread on a path of polished stone, smooth and warm from the day's heat, leading to a courtyard where the air is filled with the fragrance of jasmine and a gentle clink of gold jewelry against jade. This is the world of the feathered elite, the Pipotin, whose lives are woven with beauty and duty. Their gardens a haven of order amidst the city's sacred terror. Here, Warrior priests rest under painted arcades, women tend floating gardens with practiced grace, and children recite poetry that carries the weight of the gods. This segment will guide you through the tranquil courtyards of the nobility, where luxury masks the violence that sustains it, where the calm authority of the Tlatoni rules, and where philosophical debates whisper of harmony and sacrifice. Let us walk slowly into this world of feathers and flowers, where the sun's hunger is both a distant echo and an ever-present truth. You enter a noble household, its walls of adobe and stone painted with murals of quetzal birds and blooming cacti, their colors vibrant yet soothing, as if inviting you to linger. The courtyard is open to the sky, its center a garden where marigolds and dahlias grow in neat rows, their petals catching the last light of day. A fountain bubbles softly, its water cool and clear, fed by an aqueduct that stretches across the city, a marvel of engineering that brings life to the chinampas and the homes of the elite. You hear the laughter of children, their voices high and clear, as they play a game with a rubber ball, its bounce echoing against the walls. A woman, her hair braided with flowers, kneels by a plot of herbs, her hands deftly plucking leaves. Her cotton hoople dyed indigo and embroidered with turquoise threads. She glances up, her eyes calm but assessing, as if measuring your place in this ordered world. Nearby, a man in a feathered cloak sits on a woven mat, a codex open before him, its pages filled with glyphs that tell of battles and gods. He is a warrior priest, his face marked with scars, his hands steady as he traces the lines with a bone stylus. This is the rhythm of their lives' beauty, duty, and a quiet acknowledgement of the pyramid's shadow. The noble household is a microcosm of Tenochtitlán's order, its structure a reflection of the cosmos itself. The Pippleton, the noble class, are not merely wealthy but sacred. Their blood tied to the gods through lineage and ritual. Their homes are spacious, though walls thick to keep out the heat. Their rooms arranged around courtyards that serve as both garden and gathering place. You walk through an arcade, its columns carved with serpents and flowers, and enter a room where a banquet is being prepared. The table is low, covered with a cloth woven with geometric patterns, its surface laden with tamales, roasted turkey, and bowls of frothy cacao, its bitterness tempered with honey and vanilla. The air is warm with the scent of food, mingling with the faint perfume of flowers worn by the guests. The nobility eat slowly, their movements deliberate, their conversation a blend of politics and poetry, their words chosen with care. A young girl, no more than 12, recites a flower song, a form of poetry that weaves beauty with philosophy, its lines praising the fleeting nature of life, the glory of the gods, the honor of sacrifice. Her voice is soft, almost a whisper, yet it carries the weight of tradition, and the adults nod in approval, their faces serene but thoughtful. The Tlatoni, the ruler of Tenochtitlán, is the heart of this world, his authority both political and divine. You imagine him now, seated on a throne of woven reeds, his cloak adorned with quetzal feathers, his headdress heavy with jade and gold. His name might be Moctezuma or Ahutzotl, a ruler whose reign saw the city's power grow, its temples rise higher, its sacrifices multiply. He does not dine with the others but in a separate chamber, attended by priests and advisors, his every word recorded in the codices. His role is to mediate between the gods and the people, to ensure the sun rises, the rains fall, the city endures. Yet his life is not one of ease. His days are filled with councils, rituals, and a constant pressure of maintaining balance. You imagine him pausing, late at night, to gaze at the stars, his thoughts turning to the calendar stone, to the 5 suns, to the question of whether the blood he orders spilled is enough. His authority is absolute, yet fragile, tied to the gods' favor, to the harvests, to the loyalty of his warriors. The nobility revere him, but they to feel the weight of the pyramid. Its drums a reminder of the cost of their world. Education is the cornerstone of this elite world, a privilege that sets the Pippleton apart. Children of the nobility, both boys and girls, attend the Kolmakak, where they learn not just to read and write, but to understand the cosmos, to recite poetry, to debate philosophy. You imagine a classroom, its walls painted with scenes of the gods, its students seated on mats, their eyes fixed on a priest who holds a codex. He teaches them the tonal pohuali, the sacred calendar, its cycles guiding every aspect of life. He speaks of the stars, of Venus as the morning star, of the Pleiades marking the new year. The children learn to play the huatl drum, its rhythm a heartbeat, and to dance the sacred dances, their movements precise yet graceful. They study rhetoric, learning to speak with elegance. Their words a weapon as sharp as any obsidian blade. The girls, though trained separately, are no less skilled. Their lessons focused on weaving, healing, and the rituals that sustain the household. Yet all of them, boys and girls, know the shadow of the pyramid, the sacrifices that underpin their world. They are taught to see it as necessary, a debt paid to the gods, but you wonder if they, too, question it in the quiet of their hearts. The Chinampas, the floating gardens, are the lifeblood of this world, their beauty a contrast to the temple's terror. You walk along a canal, its water calm and clear, reflecting the green of the reeds and the gold of the marigolds. The Chinampas are artificial islands built from mud and reeds, their surfaces rich with maize, beans and squash. Women work here, their hands steady as they plant and harvest, their voices soft as they sing to the plants, a prayer for growth. The gardens are a marvel, their yields feeding a city of thousands, their existence a testament to the Aztecs' ingenuity. Yet they are fragile, dependent on the rains that Tlaloc grants, the rains that the priests seek with their offerings. You imagine a drought, the canals drying, the crops wilting, the people looking to the temple for answers. The nobility know this fear, though they mask it with their elegance, their poetry, their feasts. They speak of harmony, of the balance between earth and sky, but the drums remind them of the cost. The hearts offer to keep the rains falling. Philosophy is a quiet undercurrent in this world, a thread that weaves through the poetry and the rituals. The nobility debate the nature of sacrifice, the meaning of the gods' hunger, the purpose of their lives. You imagine a gathering at dusk, the courtyard lit by torches, their flames casting shadows on the painted walls. A poet, his voice steady, speaks of the fleeting nature of life, comparing it to a flower that blooms and fades. Another, a warrior priest, argues that sacrifice is the price of existence, a debt owed since the gods themselves bled to create the fifth sun. A woman, her hands adorned with jade rings, counters that harmony lies in balance, in the beauty of the gardens, the songs, the stars. The Tlatoni listens, his face unreadable, his thoughts perhaps turning to the codices, to the stories of the 5 sons, to the question of whether the world can be sustained without blood. These debates are not loud or heated but calm, reflective, their words chosen with care. Their ideas a bridge between the earthly and the divine. Yet the pyramid looms, its presence a silent answer to their questions, a reminder that the gods' hunger is not a matter of debate but a fact of life. The beauty of this world is undeniable, its textures rich and vivid. You imagine the clink of gold earrings as a noble woman walks, the rustle of her cotton hoople, the weight of her turquoise necklace. You see the vibrant colors of the murals, their serpents and flowers seeming to move in the torchlight. You hear the soft notes of a clay flute, its melody weaving through the courtyard, blending with the murmur of voices and the trickle of the fountain. The air is warm, the night clear, the stars above a map of the gods' will. Yet beneath this beauty lies the shadow of the temple, its steps stained, its altars waiting. The nobility live with this duality, their lives a delicate balance between elegance and violence, between poetry and blood. They honor the gods with their feasts, their songs, their gardens, but they know that the sun demands more, that the rhythm of their lives is tied to the sacrifices that keep it rising. As you walk through this world, you feel its calm, its order, its beauty, but also its weight. The knowledge that every flower, every song, every moment of peace is paid for with blood. The nobility do not flinch from this truth, they embrace it, weaving it into their poetry, their philosophy, their lives. Yet you wonder if they, like the priest, feel the stirrings of doubt, if they lie awake at night, listening to the distant drums, questioning the cost of their world. The chinampas bloom, the feasts continue, the children recite their songs, but the pyramid stands, its shadow long and unyielding. Let us rest here for a moment in the quiet of the courtyard, the scent of jasmine lingering, the stars bright above, As we prepare to leave this world of feathers and flowers, let us carry its beauty and its burden forward into a reflection on the Aztec world as a whole, a world where the sun's hunger shaped every life, every moment, every breath. For now, rest in the rhythm of their lives, in the gentle clink of jade, in the fading notes of the flute. As we approach the conclusion of this journey, imagine yourself now stepping gently away from the vibrant courtyards of Tenochtitlán, the scent of jasmine and cacao fading into the cool night air, the distant pulse of the temple drums, softening until it becomes a memory, a faint echo in your mind. You are no longer bound to the stone steps of the Templar Mayon, nor standing before the calendar stone, nor resting among the feathered elite, but floating somewhere between their world and yours, a quiet observer carried by the rhythm of their lives. The city of Tenochtitlán, with its canals shimmering under the stars, its pyramids piercing the sky, its gardens blooming in defiance of the gods' hunger, begins to recede, yet its presence lingers, a tapestry of beauty and terror woven with the threads of sacrifice. In this final moment, let us reflect on the Aztec world. We've explored a world where the sun demanded blood, where priests balanced duty and doubt, where the cosmos was carved into stone, and where the elite lived in elegance under the shadow of the pyramid. As you rest here in the stillness of the present, let the weight of their story ease you towards sleep, a gentle bridge between their time and the comfort of your own. The Aztec world was one of profound contrasts, a place where the scent of marigolds mingled with the metallic tang of blood, where the precision of the stars guided the chaos of sacrifice, where poetry and philosophy flourished alongside the altar's grim necessity. You walked as a precious captive, your heart offered to feed the sun, your final moments filled with the surreal calm of ritual, the warmth of pulque, the pulse of drums. You followed the obsidian priest, his hands steady yet trembling with doubt, his life a balance of sacred geometry and the weight of lives taken. You stood before the calendar stone, its glyphs whispering of the 5 suns of a cosmos sustained by a delicate thread, its mysteries still debated by those who unearth the past. And you rested in the gardens of the feathered elite. There lives a delicate dance of elegance and duty, their poetry a prayer for harmony in a world that demanded blood. Each thread of this story, though woven with the stark reality of sacrifice, was part of a larger rhythm, a belief that the world's survival depended on the hearts offered to the sky. As you reflect on this journey, consider the Aztecs' world not as a distant horror, but as a mirror of human striving, of a people who sought to understand their place in the cosmos. Their sacrifices, though unimaginable to us, were not acts of cruelty, but of necessity, born from a worldview that saw the gods as partners in a fragile pact. The calendar stone, with its carved warnings of past destructions, was a reminder of their vulnerability, a call to maintain the balance that kept the 5th sun aloft. The priests, with their codices and star charts, were not butchers but scholars, their blades tools of a sacred science. The nobility, with their gardens and poetry, were not untouched by the temple's shadow, but shaped by it, their lives a testament to the beauty that could exist alongside terror. This was the rhythm of their lives, a cycle of creation and destruction, of offering and renewal, of fear and faith intertwined. Now, as you lie in the quiet of your own time, far from the stone steps and the Huahuetl's pulse, let the weight of the Aztec world settle gently around you. Imagine the stars above Tenochtitlán, their light steady and unyielding, a reminder that the sun rose each day, whether fed by hearts or not. The city is gone now, its temples buried beneath modern streets, its canals dried, its gardens lost to time. Yet its story endures, carved into stone, painted in codices, whispered in the artifacts that archaeologists still uncover. The Aztecs' world was one of sacrifice, yes, but also of ingenuity, of art, of a fierce determination to hold the cosmos together. As you drift toward sleep, let their story become a distant hum, like the sound of a conch shell fading into the night, a reminder that the past, with all its beauty and terror, is part of the rhythm that carries us forward. Feel the softness of your own surroundings now, the warmth of your bed, the quiet of the present. The gods no longer demand blood, the sun rises without offering, and the world turns in its own steady rhythm. Let the scents of copal and marigolds, The pulse of drums, the weight of the obsidian blade slip away, replaced by the calm of this moment. The Aztec world, with its beating heart and its hunger for the sun, was a chapter in the long story of humanity, a story that continues in you in the breath you take, in the dreams that await. Rest now in the gentle embrace of history, and let the rhythm of their lives carry you into sleep. A journey complete, a story told, a world remembered.